Hey guys, if you're just checking this out from YouTube, I made a shorter Instagram video that talked about this, or if you're coming from Instagram, is a little bit more in depth in terms of the short shuttle drill and how you can increase your time and get quicker with this. So with this right here, McConkey, wide receiver from Georgia, is one of the shiftiest, quickest receivers coming out of the draft in 2024. The first thing he does, and I love teaching players this, if you cheat one of your feet, all right, you're not going to get penalized for it as long as you stay even. You have to stay even over the middle line. But if you look, Lad's right foot is slightly cocked out to the right side. Okay, you can do this. So he has that slightly tilted because he's going to turn to the right. So this allows his hip to open up just a little bit more. It makes it easier for him on this first turn. Right, on this first turn, he only has to turn that foot just a little bit, and now he can explode in the direction to the right. All right, the other thing is when you go to make this first cut, you don't have to fully turn your body. So he does a good job here of just opening up that hip, and he basically just hops this over in about 2 steps. You don't have to turn. I see so many athletes, the first move they make is they keep this foot straight, and then they turn this right hand, but then they stand up straight and then try to fully turn themselves into that first touch of the line. And really all you have to do is this. You just have to learn to hop and figure out exactly how many steps it is for you. All right, the next piece of advice, you only have to go to the line. You only have to touch this line. So many guys I see, they don't understand that. They get their foot over the top, their hands all the way over here. Just get to the line. That's all the coaches want to see is you get to the line. All right, the next piece is the toe and hip angles. Anyone who's ever worked with me or will work with me in the future, the toe and hip angles is so important. Anywhere your toe points, your hip points. Okay, so Lad, knowing he's going to turn back to the left, does a very good job of his left foot being at an angle here, which means his left hip is going to be at an angle. Now his right foot, because he has to make this turn, is pointed straight ahead down the line. If his right foot was planted out to the side here, which is what you'll see from most athletes, his hip and foot now have to make this whole extra angle of a turn, which when he does that, it's going to take longer. His body's going to be more uncomfortable. So now when he turns to stand up, you'll see a lot of athletes that instead of being in this good accelerative position, they're actually going to be standing a lot higher up, and they're going to take 2, 3, 4 choppy steps right here to try and pick up speed. Lad does a very good job of turning here, and he's very efficient with the turn, and we explode into a full sprint in 1 or 2 steps. He doesn't take 3, 4, 5 pitter-patter steps, so it does a very good job there. Then as he goes to land at this other line, you're going to see his left foot here. Okay, left foot. It's tilted out at an angle, which is what you'll end up seeing from most athletes when they go to make this turn. Right at this last second, watch that left foot. Turns that left foot, gets it pointed straight, and now it takes away that angle that he originally was at. He eliminated this right here simply by turning his foot at the last second. Being intentional about turning and landing that foot, and now twisting and going back in the other direction, same thing. He's able to turn, stay in a low accelerative position. Okay, he's not losing any speed. He's actually picking up speed at the turns, which allows him to have a really good time. And what that's going to do, guys, is for any position you have, if you're able to be efficient with those toe and hip angles, now anytime you go to change direction, once you've trained your brain to do this enough, now anytime you go to change direction, your feet are going to do this. Exactly what happened with Lad here. He knows his foot's just going to naturally turn at that last second and plan. Now that goes for wide receivers. If you're trying to run routes, we want to make sure, I've said this before, for a wide receiver, if you want to run a slant, bad angle for a slant, but a slant, you don't want your right foot, when you take your steps, you don't want to go, right foot, left foot, and then your right foot be planted all the way out here. You want to make sure that that right foot is actually planted in this direction to plant and go inside. It's more efficient for your hips, it's easier on your hips, and you're going to have more strength and power. Okay, for an offensive lineman, if you're trying to block, you don't want your feet to be at either of these directions pointed out. That's not efficient for you. So that's not going to help you if you're trying to hold up against a 300-pound defensive lineman. And same thing for defensive linemen. If you're trying to push on an offensive lineman, or get inside of an offensive lineman, as you go inside, you want to make sure that your feet are at a good angle so you can press back and forth, and shift your body weight. Linebacker, same thing. For a linebacker, if you're reading a run block, or a run play, you want to make sure that your feet are going in a positive and efficient angle. So, like I said, this drill right here, guys, the short shuttle, I feel like as a coach watching it, it exposes athletes, and not expose them in a negative way. But you'll be able to tell if you go through with 10 athletes, you'll be able to pick out the top 5 that are really good at changing direction and the bottom 5. And I promise you, if you take videos of them, the issues are going to be with those toe angles and hip angles and how they land into that and then try to make these turns. And that's one of the easiest things. So one easy way, you might be wondering, hey, how do we fix this? What you want to do is you want to start, and you don't have to necessarily start out of the short shuttle stance, but just start on a line, just like this, right? Just start right here and attack it 5 yards away. So do this to get to a line 5 yards away, and just work on the athletes to get them to turn and just land straight. Even if they just land with this foot going straight and this foot going straight, just have them twist their body, take a couple of shuffle steps, and then land with their toes going straight. All right, just practice that. And that could be a warm-up drill. You just do that, boom, we're going to turn, we're going to land with our toes straight, land with our toes straight, land with our toes straight. You do that as a warm-up for about 4 weeks. And then after that, then you start them from here, right, from this side, and you have them turn and go the 10 yards. So you have them start from here, and now they run 10 yards and have to land and, boom, turn with their feet going straight this direction. And now when they do that, same thing. You do that for about 4 weeks. Now they can do it, for over 5 yards. Now they can do it over 10. Then you start increasing, if you start increasing the speed of where they start. So now you'll start them from, the main start line. And when they start from the main start line, now you have them go 5 to 10 and go back. And then as you get closer to the season, do it, position specific. So have them work on some cut drills and watch those toe and hip angles, put them in harder cuts, and force them to see if they continue to work those toe and hip angles. So like I said, guys, this is it's something that is kind of simple, but if you go through this drill in the off season, maybe you don't put up the times you want, it's always something you improve on. But take videos of yourself and test it out, because if you look at it, and then you should be able to fix it, and once you can see it and can fix it, you can really work on this and then translate that to the on-field activities as well.